What kind of music was I listening to 2024? Let's react to this and play it together. We are opening the Spotify Lapped 2024 and see what kind of music and what kind of podcast was I listening. So I love this because it tells you a story through that. I can't believe like 2024 is already gone and I spent 18 to 96 minutes on Spotify. I spent 2 weeks listening to music back to back. In June, I spent 414 minutes. This is my right song. I don't know why, but I feel it gives me a good rhythm on my heart. So I listened to this music for 56 times back to back from January 5. Wow. My top 5 songs on Spotify was Love Live, Somebody, It Won't Stop, Love in This Club, the remix, and East Side. So I also listened to podcast and I listened to podcast 46 97 minutes. I spent almost 3 days back to back listening to podcast. So my podcast category I was listening is business and technology, and business is the biggest one. So these are my podcasts which I listen to the whole of the year. The co-cast, we have The Game by Alex Homozy, Deep Dive by Abdallah as number 3, Naval Ravikant, and listen to his podcast on how to get rich or something to do with wealth. It's a 3-hour podcast and you will learn a lot. Then we have AWS 254 podcast. So this is a podcast on AWS. It's hosted by Brian Kefa. We don't have fun. You don't see it. In January, I was listening to pop and crank culture, mostly throwback things. So in March, I switched from pop, crank to hip hop and R&B. In June, I was listening to the movie soundtrack. So weird thing. So I listened to 769 artists, and the number 1 artist, according to this data, is Chris Brown. I listened to Chris Brown on 1356. So after Chris Brown, number 2 is Neo. So the top 5 artists of the year 2024, we have Chris Brown, Neo, Khalid, Rihanna, and Asha. What? I don't know.